Right, so this is going to be friction session number 3 for us. In the last session, we have discussed few questions about limiting friction or the limiting condition on friction, and we ended up with the discussion about the two block problem, one of the simple cases of the two block problem. So we will take it forward from that point onwards today. So let us start with an example to do with limiting condition or limiting friction again. So this is an example that you can try out yourself based on what we have learned in the last couple of lectures. So I'll just put up the question on the board. So we have this kind of a rough surface which has static friction coefficient of 0.5 and kinetic friction coefficient of 0.4, let us say. Okay. And we have a system of blocks and a pulley, standard smooth pulley attached at the corner. And the difference is this time we have a couple of blocks attached like this. And a light or massless thread going around the pulley like this, and another one connecting the two blocks. So let's say these are blocks A, B and C. Now, given acceleration due to gravity is 10 meters per second square. Also given that mass of the block A is 5 kilograms, mass of the block B is 10 kilograms. So we have to find the accelerations, if any, and friction or frictional force on each block if mass of C is equal to 3 kilograms. Second case, mass of C is increased to 6 kilograms. And third case, mass of C is increased to 10 kilograms. Right. So just try out this question, people. So as the case with any problem in relation to Newton's laws of motion and friction, etc., everything will be based on the free body diagrams. But in addition to the free body diagrams, you will also have to apply the concept of limiting friction over here. That is, you have to check against the external tangential force that is trying to create slipping versus the maximum friction available or the limiting friction available on a given block. And from that, you have to decide whether that block will tend to move or not. Okay, so obviously both threads are massless and the pulley is smooth. So anybody got the answer for the first part? Okay, let's understand the free body diagrams. All in inertial frame. So this one's weight is 50. So the normal reaction acting on it is 50 newtons. This one has a normal reaction of 100 newtons because its weight is 100 newtons. This one has a weight like this. Okay, now suppose this string has a tension T1. So I'm taking the tension in this string as T1. and if at all this spring has tension, this is T2. Now why I'm saying if at all, because there is also friction on this block. So there is friction F2, let's say, on this. Okay. Now you can see for the block B, okay, maximum static friction will be coefficient of static friction. So it will be 50 newtons, because coefficient of static friction was given to us as 0.5, kinetic friction was given as 0.4. Okay, so the first thing you can understand that if T1 is less than equal to 50 newtons, then what will happen is that the friction on block B, static friction on B, will balance that tension, and as a result of that, the tension in the second string will be 0. And blocks will be at rest. So in the first case, that is what is happening. The case 1, mass of C was given to you as 3 kilograms. So its weight is 30 newtons. So therefore, system will be at equilibrium. That is, acceleration will be 0. So what will happen is that in the above free body diagram, T1 will balance the weight of this block, so that will be equal to 30 newtons. So that is for block C. For block B, T1 will be balanced by frictional force. It will be 30 newtons. Okay, so it is static friction. It should be less than the limiting value. And tension T2 will be 0. So friction on the first block will be 0. No friction on block A. Okay. इक्विलिब्रियम ऑफ दिस ब्लॉक ना, इसका एक्सेलरेशन 0 है, तो फोर्सेस बैलेंस करो. अगर फ्रिक्शन ही T1 को बैलेंस कर रहा है, देन व्हाई विल T2 कम इनटू द पिक्चर ना. उसका टेंडेंसी टू मूव है ही नहीं ब्लॉक बी का. Friction is balancing the horizontal force T1 on it, so it doesn't tend to move at all. So why it will pull on the string? It will not pull on the string only. You understanding that, Krupa? जब तक T1 does not exceed this limiting friction, there is no tendency for this block B to get pulled in that side. So if it is not getting pulled, it's not going to pull the string. So that tension T2 will not exist. Okay. Good. Okay. Now in the second case, you can see that is what is happening. In the second case, mass of C is 6 kg. So definitely the tendency for tension T1 will definitely exceed 50 newtons. So for equilibrium condition, if we assume equilibrium, then now the free body diagrams will have additional force. So on block B, there will be maximum friction acting, which is mu s into normal reaction, but that is not going to be enough to balance the tension. So the second tension comes into play. This string is also pulled, but what we are hoping for is that the system can still be in equilibrium, because this tension is getting balanced with friction acting on it. Okay. So acceleration is still 0. Okay. So assuming equilibrium, T1 is equal to weight, so that is 60 newtons. Then for block B, T1 is balanced by T2 plus friction, where this friction will be the maximum static friction. Okay. So F2 will be coefficient of static friction multiplied by normal reaction acting on B. So it will be 50 newtons. Okay. So that will show you that T2 will be T1 minus this maximum friction available. So it will be 60 minus 50. So T2 will be 10 newtons. Now what we have to check for my equilibrium condition is that can friction on the block A balance this T2. So for block A, the equilibrium condition is T2 is balanced by friction, okay, where F1 is static friction. So F1 should be less than mu s into N, or F1 should be less than 25 newtons, because of the weight, the normal reaction on block A was 50 newtons, okay, that we've seen earlier, but this condition tells us that F1 needs to be T2 needs to be 10 newtons. So this condition is fine. Therefore, the assumption equilibrium is correct, because F1 needed is only 10 newtons and F1's maximum value possible is up to 25 newtons. So the condition of equilibrium is satisfied. Okay, so hope this second part is clear to all of you. Please let me know if there's any doubt, and if not, then note it down and now see how you'll work out the third part. In the third part, you have to take the mass of the block C as 10 kg. Okay. So finish writing this down and then try working out the third part yourself. I'm just reminding you of the values here. Okay. Coefficient of static friction was 0.5. Coefficient of kinetic friction was 0.4. So use these values and try and figure out the third part yourself. I'll discuss very shortly. Okay. But you can use the same method that we have done in the second part to try and figure out the third part also. Yes, you can make the combined FBD one, that's correct. But the thing is, then for the combined FBD, you will get the acceleration. But to find out the individual friction on each block, you will have to later again make FBD of each block. Yeah, so we are limiting friction on on the block A. You will get by coefficient of static friction, which is 0.5, into the normal reaction on block A. So normal reaction on block A is equal to its weight, which is 50 newtons, and coefficient of static friction is 0.5. That's how we got that 25 newtons. Okay, so Rahil, why we didn't take T2 equal to 0? Because friction balance नहीं कर पा रहा है ना बेटा T1 को. अगर उसका acceleration 0 है block B का, then net force on it has to be 0 ना. Now the tension T1 is how much? It is 60 newtons and maximum friction on it is only 50 newtons na. So how the friction can balance tension T2? Friction cannot balance the tension T2. So the block B is getting pulled. So if it is getting pulled, it will pull the string na. So that's why it will develop tension T1. In case 1, go back and check what is happening. In case 1, tension T2 was only 30 newtons. So friction is able to balance it. No, Varun, the acceleration is going to be less than that. There will be acceleration in third case, but very less amount of acceleration. Okay, let's come to case 3. Now we are taking the mass of block C as 10 kg. So again, if we start by assuming there is equilibrium, okay, then for the block C, we will see that a weight of 100 newtons has to be balanced with a tension of how much? The acceleration is 0. We will require tension T2 to be 100 newtons. So now when we come to the block B, we will see that this tension T2 has to be balanced with T1 and the maximum friction, that is mu times Nb. Okay. So if this tension so maximum friction we had seen was 50 newtons. So T1 needs to be 50 newtons. Okay. Now we come to block A finally. Block A also needs to be in equilibrium. So the tension T1 acting on it needs to be balanced with static friction. So F1 static needs to be equal to T1. So we need F1 of 50 newtons. Okay. But this condition now we can see is not possible. Okay. This is not possible because F1's maximum possible value, which is this one, is equal to 0.5 into 50. So we need double the amount of friction which is available. We need 50 newtons of friction, but the available friction is only 25 newtons. Okay. So therefore, we can see that this is not possible. So therefore, the friction in the system is not sufficient to prevent slipping. So that implies that the blocks slip, okay, that is A and B, and C moves down with some acceleration not equal to 0. Okay. And also kinetic friction, for which the coefficient of friction is given as 0.4, acts on A and B. Okay. So now we solve the free body diagrams again using this assumption. So solve FPDs with this condition now. What condition? That acceleration is not equal to 0 and the friction is kinetic friction. Okay, so at this point, once we know that slipping is occurring, we can apply that trick also, that we can make a combined free body diagram for this thing A and B. That will save us some time. Okay, not a huge amount of time, but और you can just keep it this way only. So block A पे कैसा friction लग रहा है? Kinetic friction. So it's having some acceleration. So T1 minus mu K into normal reaction is equal to mass of A into acceleration. So T1 minus 0.4 into weight of A was 50 is equal to 5A. So T1 minus 20 is equal to 5A. That's our first equation. Then for block B, we have tension T2 from this side, tension T1 from this side, and again kinetic friction, which is mu K into NB, this acceleration. So for block B, we have the equation T2 minus T1 minus this kinetic friction is equal to mass into acceleration. So T2 is unknown, T1 is unknown, but this is 0.4 into its weight, which is 100, mass into acceleration. So T2 minus T1 minus 40 newtons is equal to 10E. So this is our equation 2. And the third block is very easy, just downward acceleration of E. Okay. So we have the equation T2. So weight minus tension is mass into acceleration. So we have the equation 100 minus T2 is equal to 10. That's our third equation. Now from this we want to find out acceleration. So that's pretty easy. You can just add the three equations. If you just put them one after the other, you'll realize adding will get rid of tensions. Just add all these equations. So T1 cancels, T2 cancels, and we are left with 100 minus 20 on this side. On that side we have this. Sorry, 100 minus 60. There is a 40 term also now. So we have 100 minus 20 minus 40. So we have 40 is equal to 25e. So the common acceleration in magnitude for all the blocks is 40 by 25 or 8 by 5 or 1.6 meters per second. So this should be a final answer for the third part. And frictions on A and B are this much, 20 newtons and 40 newtons. So additionally these two things along with this is the complete answer. Okay, so hope this is clear. Finished, Sarvesh? You finished writing this down, Sarvesh? Okay, okay. Okay. Next, let us look at another limiting friction problem, but this time on an inclined plane. So we have an inclined surface like this, which is inclined at 37 degrees to the horizontal. And it's a rough surface with coefficient of friction given to us as a common value of 0.5. Okay. So now if we place a block on this surface, first of all, if you know that that block, if it is just placed, it will tend to slip down the inclined plane. Because what was the condition for equilibrium on its own? It was that mu should be greater than tan theta. Okay. So any block that is placed like this over here, it will tend to slip. That is something you should understand. Since mu equal to 0.5 is less than tan theta is tan 37, which is 3 by 4, so that's 0.75. So therefore the block will slip down the inclined plane if released from on the surface. But the question here is different. Now what we want to do is, in the first part, find the minimum external force, okay, applied parallel to the inclined plane. Okay, to stop the block from slipping. Okay, take G as 10 meters per second square. So in this part, in this first part, what we are going to do is we are going to apply an external force like this, parallel to the inclined plane. So what is the minimum amount of external force needed? That is the question. Okay. Whereas in the second part of the question, if external force is applied horizontally, okay, on the block, then find the minimum magnitude needed. to prevent slipping. Okay. So each part will have a different answer, because when you make the free body diagram you will understand. Okay. If we apply the force horizontally like this instead of parallel to the inclined plane, we are going to affect the normal reaction. So that will affect the amount of friction available to us. Okay. So mass of the block is given to us as 2.5 kg, and coefficient of friction is zero 0.5 and all that. So just work this out, people. So this is a comparatively easy question because there's only a single block. It is only when there are more than one blocks involved then the problem is little complicated. Okay. Here you have to just apply the basics about limiting friction. So just try this out. First part answer, no, not yet correct. राहिल, हाउ यू गेटिंग 27.5 यार? उसका वेट ही तो 25 न्यूटन्स है. वेट से ज़्यादा क्यों फोर्स लगाना पड़ेगा? Just think normally, na, mg only is 25 newtons, so why you have to apply force? No, not correct yet. So think in terms of free body diagram, no, people. What all forces are acting on it? So you can show the weights components in resolved form only. So there is mg cos theta and mg sin theta acting like this. Okay. So this component mg cos theta will be 20 newtons, no? Because mg is 25 newtons. Theta is equal to 37 degrees. So always remember this concept. This angle is also theta. So therefore weights components are the cos theta component and sin theta component. Okay. So mg sin theta, that is 15 newtons. Okay. So now the normal reaction that will balance mg cos theta. So normal reaction कितना हो जाएगा? वो भी 20 newtons हो जाएगा. Okay. That's also 20. So now what is the maximum friction available? So normal reaction is 20 newtons. So maximum friction is 10 newtons now, because coefficient of friction was given to us as 0.5. Okay, so there will be friction trying to prevent it from slipping, but it won't be able to prevent slipping. So this will be equal to 10 newtons. So if we want to prevent it from accelerating, we have to apply some force like this now. So the minimum magnitude of that force has to be such that in spite of maximum friction acting, it is not slipping. So the external force we are applying, okay, that has to apply the condition that acceleration is 0. So for acceleration to be 0, F external together with friction, and this is static friction, okay, will have to be able to balance mg sin theta. This is the required equation. So F external has to be equal to mg sin theta minus the static friction. Now for the minimum F external, this static friction has to be the maximum or limiting friction value. So static friction has to become equal to mu into n, equal to 10 newtons. Okay. So that is the condition for this to become minimum. So F external's minimum possible value will be mg sin theta minus maximum friction. So that will be how much? 5 newtons. that should be your answer here. Okay. Now similarly make the adjustment in the second part where the external force is not acting along the inclined plane, rather it is acting horizontally. Okay, so let's first of all understand the free body diagram in the second case. So the forces are weight mg, which was 25 newtons. This theta is of course 37 degrees. Then we are applying some kind of horizontal external force that is acting, let's say, like this. Which we have to of course find out. Okay. And then there is normal reaction acting like this. Okay. And there is, since we are applying minimum amount of force, so the friction acting will be limiting friction. Okay. So this will be static friction of its maximum possible value. So that is coefficient of friction into normal reaction. So these are all the forces acting, and cumulatively they are keeping the acceleration down to 0. So now when we make the free body diagram with the forces, this thing, uh, resolved, so we will see the components of this external force will become F external cos theta like this, and F external sin theta like this. Then components of weight will become mg cos theta, which we already saw was 20 newtons, and mg sin theta, which we already seen is 15 newtons. Okay. And then normal reaction, which as of now we don't know how much, and then maximum static friction. Okay. So this has to be solved for acceleration equal to 0 condition. So now from this we have to find out how much the F external is. Okay. This will be the minimum value, okay, because we have taken static friction to be the maximum value. But difference here is normal reaction will not be mg cos theta. Okay, remember normal reaction will also be affected with yes, so it will come out to be less than the value that we got earlier. Okay, so anyway, just check it out how much you'll get. I'll give you the answer in a minute. Okay, just try to now balance the forces in the second part of the free body diagram where we have resolved the forces already. Okay, so let's work out the final solution now. So see here, for the equilibrium condition, what is happening is that mg sin theta is balanced by limiting friction plus external forces cos component. Okay, so that's our first equation, that 15 newtons is balanced by 0.5 into whatever the normal reaction is plus 4 by 5 F. That's our equation 1. Okay. And secondly, along the normal direction, N balances the sum of mg cos theta plus the external forces sine component. Okay. So N should become equal to 20 plus 3 by 5 F external. Now these two we have to solve, okay, to find out F external. So from equation 1 you can see that N will become 15 minus 4 by 5 F, the whole thing into 2, or 30 minus 8 by 5 F. So substitute this now in this equation. Substitute this here, so this equation becomes 30 minus 8 by 5 F is equal to 20 plus 3 by 5 F. So you'll see that you get 30 minus 20 is 8 by 5 plus 3 by 5 F external. Okay, so 11 by 5 F external is equal to 10 newtons. So this is the final answer. So just go through this carefully. This is an important question. No, it is not slipping, na Sarvesh. The condition was for not slipping. See, acceleration is 0. Same in the first case also. We are solving for equilibrium. आपने क्वेश्चन पे ध्यान से नहीं पढ़ा. Okay, so hope this question is clear. If you finish writing this down, we will move on to the next question. Okay, next, another important question to do with inclined plane, but this time where there is kinetic friction involved. So what is happening is that first case we have this situation where on an inclined plane of 37 degrees we release a block. Okay. And what we find is that it is coming down with some acceleration e1. Now in the second case, what is happening is that the same block placed on the same inclined plane is initially given a push up the inclined plane. So some external agent has given it a push. Okay. So it has given it something called an impulse. Okay. Impulse is like F delta T, that is force multiplied with time. Okay. For a short time, delta T. So that as a result of that, it started moving up the inclined plane with some initial velocity. Okay. So as it starts moving up, now at some stage like this, there is no longer any external force. So its velocity has become v. But because of forces like weight and friction, it is having a deceleration. Okay. So this is the same rough inclined plane whose coefficient of friction we don't know. Okay. But it's rough. Okay. So now we'll have to figure out the coefficient of friction and the deceleration in the second case. Okay. So the block slides down this rough inclined plane with acceleration. Now suppose that acceleration a1 is given to us 1.2 meters per second square. Take g as 10 meters per second square. Okay. So then first of all, find the coefficient of kinetic friction. Okay. And the second case, the block is given an impulse initially. Okay. So it starts sliding up the incline. Okay. With initial velocity u. So after some time, v becomes less than u. Okay. So find the deceleration while sliding up the inclined plane, ed. A2 is the deceleration while sliding up the inclined plane. So we have to find out how much that is. Okay. Is the same inclined plane. Okay, so this is another important question, and the concept we learn through this question is very important for you to remember also. So just work this out quickly. So try to think in terms of free body diagram, how the different forces, including kinetic friction, will be acting in case 1 when it is sliding down the inclined plane with acceleration versus in case 2 when it is sliding up the inclined plane with deceleration. So दोनों केस में individually how the forces will be acting, how friction will be acting. Both are cases of slipping, so there will be kinetic friction. And remember, kinetic friction always opposes the slipping. So I've given you enough hint for you to understand how to make the free body diagram. So that's the interesting thing. You don't need the mass of the block. Okay. To find out the coefficient of friction. Anybody has worked out the coefficient of friction in the first part? तो फॉर्मूला बेस्ड है ना, आपको पता है when the block is accelerating. Yes, very good, Ryan, that's correct. Okay, this is formula based. You don't even need to make the free body diagram. You know that for slipping case, the acceleration down the inclined plane is given by this formula, g into sine theta minus coefficient of kinetic friction into cos theta. This formula also had asked you to remember also. Okay, so this 1.2. Now even if you forget this formula, there is always the option of making the free body diagram and working it out. Okay. But solving this, you will get your answer. So the first part is very simple. Okay. So I'm just making the free body diagram for the first part. So if you don't know it by the formula based method, you can at least understand it from the free body diagram. So the forces mg sine theta, mg cos theta, normal reaction and kinetic friction equal to mu n into normal reaction. So the block having an acceleration down the inclined plane of A, your equation becomes very simple. Mg sine theta minus mu k into normal reaction is ma, okay. And normal reaction is balancing mg cos theta. So solve these two equations and directly get the acceleration independent of the mass. So that's how this formula comes. Okay. Now work on the second part. In the second part, something will change in your free body diagram. Okay. The hint to you is, remember that kinetic friction always opposes slipping. Okay, anybody got the deceleration in the second part? So let me just explain how the friction is acting in the second part. So because our block is moving in this direction, the velocity is in this direction, even though the acceleration is obviously in the opposite direction. The deceleration is like this. So what about friction? Immediately you will understand that kinetic friction will oppose slipping. So slipping is in the forward direction, up the inclined plane. So kinetic friction will act like this. This is the main thing you have to understand. Rest of the things are standard. Weight and normal reaction act this way only. This angle is theta. This angle is theta. So now when you resolve the forces, you can see that mg sine theta acts in the same direction as friction this time. This all together is creating a deceleration of A2 on this axis. So you have mg sine theta plus kinetic friction is equal to mass into this deceleration. So this deceleration will become g into sine theta plus mu k cos theta, because you also have normal reaction is mg cos theta. Okay. So here A2 will become 10 into 3 by 5 plus 0.6 into 4 by 5. That is 10 into 0.6 plus 0.48. So it become 10.8 meters per second square. This will be the deceleration in the second case. So just make a note of this, people, and hope you've understood this second part. And with this we will conclude today's session. So impulse I have explained to you, Sarvesh. Okay, you can write down what I have explained in the notes about impulse earlier. It's a force acting for a short duration of time, and force into time is called impulse. So that's it for today's session, people. Wish you all the best. No, impulse is not acting while later. No? Impulse is acting for a short duration initially. So when the deceleration is A2, there is no impulse acting. अरे सर्वेश, you have not understood the question only यार. Impulse तो initially उसको initial velocity देने के लिए था. But एक बार initial velocity उसको मिल गया, उसके बाद impulse नहीं act कर रहा ना. That is why it is decelerating as it is going up the inclined plane. I have noted down all these points for you above. Okay, note down and read those points carefully.